Yo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy ColtsTalk. We are finally back with some Colts football, but this is not the actual game, but this is training camp. Training camp is officially underway. Yesterday, as of this upload, was the first day of training camp, and it was a roller coaster, as you can see from the title. The rookie picked off Matt Ryan, but we'll get more into that later. But after all of it, shout out to Indy Star. I do have it pulled up, the overview of day one of training camp, and I'm going to go through it with you guys. If you guys haven't watched or haven't been caught up with the news of training camp day one so far, I got you right here. So stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate all you guys for still being around. And man, Coach football is almost here, man. We're almost back around the corner. Let's go ahead, hop into it. This could be a lengthy one. So starting off early in practice on the second play of the 707, new quarterback Matt Ryan tried to force the ball to Mo Alie-Cox in the crowd. The ball was tipped into the air and crossed Nick Cross, the rookie from Maryland. Nick Cross closed hard, and to make the interception, making kind of a play Indianapolis is going to need out of that position. Shout out to Nick Cross. He got a lot of hype coming into this draft. Even the pick, especially with the loss of Khari Willis. A lot of people believe that Nick Cross could be a future star and a very good talent for the Colts moving forward into the future. And that is some good news to hear. He already has this ability. We know how good he is IQ-wise around the field, analyzing everything, and being pretty good when it comes to going to get the football, and being a good tackler as well. He has the intangibles of being a star in the NFL. You just got to go out there on the field and put it on display. And he did put it on display in this 707. Day one of training camp. We're not going to try to get too hype up the news, but to see him making plays early is a good welcome to the NFL moment, and it's a good thing to keep the Colts fans on edge for the momentum going into the season. So he picked off Matt Ryan, Nick Cross, which is the safety. A little late in the practice, though, Nick Cross saw the All-Pro running back Jonathan Taylor bounce off and run to the outside, took an aggressive angle towards Taylor on the outside, aiming to cut him off. Instead, Taylor put on his signature burst, turning the corner before Cross could lay a hand on him. Pierce moments was similar. All right, so now we're going to be moving forward. Jonathan Taylor welcomed Nick Cross as well to the NFL, showing off how good he is at running back. On a day where Ryan more often found receivers open underneath, I just want to go ahead and start off by saying underneath is a key word in this sentence, because that is one thing the Colts lacked last year, was underneath passes. And the fact to see this on this thread from Indy Star, shout out to Nate Atkins and those guys over at Indy Star, but the fact that we've seen this right now just gives me false hope. It gives me good hope that next year is going to be a way better year than last year, because we did not hit the targets underneath when they were there. Let's carry on. So he said on a day where when Ryan found more often found receivers open underneath, the big play highlight was Ryan standing in the pocket, waiting for Pierce to run a deep in through the middle of the field and firing a strike to the rookie, drawing plenty of applause from the crowd. So he had Alec Pierce, the rookie wide receiver, for a wide open pass, and plenty of people love to see it. It's good to hear that he has a deep ball still. Moving forward, Pierce is expected to stretch the field for the Colts, both with his speed and ability to make contested catches in the air. A little while later, he had a chance to grab one of those jump balls in the 7-on-7 with Kenny Moore, the second, in coverage, only to have free safety Julian Blackman come and fly out in the middle and bat it away. Shout out to Julian Blackman for making his presence out there on the field. He missed last season with an injury, and he's looking like he's back to his normal self per reports from all over Indy sources. But this is good to hear for Julian Blackman, and it's good to hear how the defense is playing these receivers. It's good to hear that they're battling out, even though it's not really contact. But, it's just small things. This is small things. You get hope, and you move forward to get, it's just positivity only. That's basically what I'm saying. For both rookies and for Rahman and Woods, this was the only start of a long training camp period. Opportunity is available. I agree. Throttling down, drawing too many conclusions from the battle between offensive and defensive linemen is typically a big mistake for the Colts are in full pads, before the Colts are in full pads. But it was hard to ignore Yannick Ngakwe's motor in his first practice in front of Colts fans. Ngakwe plays at an intense pace in practices, explosive off the edge in the pass rush. Ngakwe's effort showed up in other ways Wednesday. At one point, Ngakwe burst through the line to touch Taylor for what might have been a tackle for loss, and a play later, he took a full rush at Ryan, only to realize the Colts had called a screen, changed direction, and chased down Mo Alie-Cox to the other side of the field. That sounds like Yannick Ngakoue, if we're being honest. He has great mentality, said cornerback Brandon Facion, who's his former teammate on the Las Vegas Raiders, if you guys didn't know. He said, who's played with Ngakoue in Las Vegas, as I just said, last season. He wants to be great every single day. I got a little taste of it when he was over with the Raiders last year. I'm just glad he's on my team again. Hey, man, that's good to hear. All right, we're going to quarterback tracking. Based on the first practice, Ryan gets about half of the snaps. Nick Foles sees the field. I'm summing it up at this point. Then it was divided between Sam and Jack Holmes, who happens to be another quarterback on the Colts. Ryan completed 7 of 8 in the 11-on-11 workout. He hit Michael Pittman Jr. twice, Jonathan Taylor, Marley Cox, Naheem Hines, Alec Pierce that we mentioned, Kyler Granson. Then Foles went 3 for 4. He hit Granson, Kuti, and Alec Ogletree. Cone was in. He hit Philip Lindsay, and Elliger only got 1 for Deion Jackson. And to hear the good news, Rodney McLeod and Tyquan Lewis, if you guys didn't know, was activated from the PUP list, which is good to hear because we are looking forward for some more Tyquan Lewis football. And Rodney McLeod, we're looking forward to him, who can actually be a great depth for the Colts moving forward. But that pretty much sums up moving forward. Mike Strawn, he has a knee injury. Shaquille Leonard, he has the back, and Eric Johnson's back was all spotted on the field though, so it's not major injuries. DeForest Buckner, he didn't practice on 11-on-11. And one point, on the third defensive year, at one point, third-year defensive tackle Chris Williams left with the trainer, although he was on the field at the end of practice. Okay, Stephon Gilmore was out there, and Brandon Facion, who was the third cornerback along with Gilmore and Moore throughout the practice, drew the only flag, presumably for pass interference on the slant to Pierce. Okay, and it says running backs was difficult to evaluate in padless practices, but Lindsey's quickness was noticeable, which is good because if anyone knows what Philip Lindsay does, his history as a running back, he had flashes in Denver. It's good to see that he's still showing those flashes a little bit in Indy in the first day of training camp. So this is one thing we can keep an eye on moving forward. The running back room with Hines, Jackson, Taylor, and Philip Lindsay could be a real huge threat moving forward. It said Jackson, who finished the 2021 season as the number 3 running back, fumbled twice, first on the handoff from Foles and then the second one in traffic. Will Freeze lined up behind center behind Ryan Kelly, and the newly signed wide receiver Isaiah Ford was one of the 6 players auditioning to be the kick returner along with Hines, Isaiah Rodgers, Guti, Lindsey, DeMichael Harris, and undrafted linebacker Forrest Ryan from the Villanova product. Pretty much he made an impressive play in the 7-on-7s against Ryan, leaping high to bat away an intended pass to the tight end. Oh, that's pretty good. Randy Weathers made it to Inside Stadium, so that's pretty much summing up everything. But it's good to hear. Shout out to Indy Star once again for making an article. They do have more stuff on there. I didn't read all of it. You guys go ahead and check out Indy Star from all the details about training camp. They'll be posting more stuff like that. Check out all their content. They do pretty good work. That's where I found where most of my stuff is as well. Like, again, shout out to Indy Star. But moving forward, it's good to hear the potential between Yannick Ngakoue, Nick Cross, and Julian Blackman. Seeing him on the field is good to hear about that as well. Matt Ryan completing half of his passes is a good sight as well. A lot of Colts players feel a different era. You know, with Matt Ryan back there, it's totally different from what Carson Wentz brought in last year. It's a good sight. It's a really good sight because they don't feel the same way. And there's no slander towards Carson Wentz, but when you get a different quarterback that actually pushes you and holds you accountable for certain situations, it changes the whole mood in the locker room. So that's a good thing to hear. Hopefully they keep up all the good work and the intensity, and they bring it next year to give us that AFC South division that we're supposed to have. But moving forward, I will keep you guys posted on more training camp. I appreciate all you guys for the support. The Blue Stable will keep you posted as well. Check out the links in the description. This is Marcus. You guys let me know your thoughts of all you heard about training camp day 1. Until next time, you've been Culture Shock.